Welcome to Cody in the Cinema. Today I'm going to discuss 3 Criterion Collection films about crime, specifically organized crime of a gangster nature. Each of these films is an essential watch from the Criterion Collection, and the first one I wanted to discuss was a film that, I don't know, this probably revolutionized cinema in a sense. Scorsese said it did. He said it had reminded him in some ways of what, Citizen Kane did for pictures. This is a nice film directed by Elia Kazan, great director who's done one great picture after another, from A Tree Grows in Brooklyn to the Tennessee Williams play adaptations, but the film is called On the Waterfront, starring Marlon Brando in a terrific performance that at first might just seem like he's a tough guy mumbling his way through life as this burnout boxer, but it ends up being quite a complex and richly textured picture. As far as ownership of a piece of physical media, this is one of their better ones. It's gorgeous to look at. Like, you get a really nice booklet with it, and even the discs look nice. There are birds on the disc. You'll see why that's important. Speaking of Scorsese, this is a really cool little piece that we learn in this essay, Everybody, Part of Everybody Else. So I wanted to kind of read a little bit from this to you about Scorsese's tribute to Kazan. So in this letter, Scorsese recounts seeing the picture on the waterfront for the first time and being dazzled by the faces, the bodies, the way they moved, the voices, the way they sounded. They were like the people I saw every day. It was like as if that world I came from, that I knew, mattered. It's an everyday subject matter. If you've never seen it, we haven't seen it in a long time. Marlon Brando is a boxer who at some point in the past threw a match for a bet, probably for a local mob boss on this waterfront who controls shipping operations, played by Lee Cobb. And he's corrupted the local union and most of the local organization in the town. And if Lee Cobb is mad at you, you're either going to end up dead like somebody does in the beginning, or you're just not going to be able to work. And so much of the film is about Brando's character learning that he needs to stand up and make better decisions concerning how he interacts with this mob, because in the very beginning of the film, we see that he does a favor for them, and that spirals, and there's a lot of guilt that transpires. As part of that, he meets a young lady played beautifully by Ava Marie Saint, who sort of has that intense performance that you like to see out of the picture. The picture in general is very intense. The music, it's blary. It's so. Scorsese was talking about the music in the supplements, and is it too much? Did Kazan at the time kind of maybe thought it was too much? I don't know. It's definitely a dramatic film. It's a melodrama through and through. But one of the other really courageous actors in the film is played by Carl Malden, this priest who's trying to be more than just an outsider who goes through the motions of priesthood and really be among the people in a Christ-like way, in the way that we see Terry Malloy slowly become a Christ-like figure. So there's lots of religious imagery in the film. There are great shots of the water, the tops of the buildings where Brando keeps these pigeons with these kids and they fly, and he teaches them to fly. And it becomes quite a violent picture, and you really get a lot of sense into how organized crime can work within a community and can destroy it. It has no romantic view of that kind of thing. There's no Goodfellas or Godfather, none of that. I mean, it's just very blunt and very real. And the reason I read you the quote from Scorsese is this is very much an everyday working class kind of picture. And I think you could read the film as being like anti-union and very pro-individual, but it's actually not. Especially in the last few minutes, you really do need everyone working together against a crime syndicate like this. So it's a rich, complex, awesome film that, it's fairly violent, kind of dark and disturbing in parts, kind of sad. But it's definitely a crime picture you should see if you haven't. On the Waterfront. Absolutely great presentation here. I think I waited like a couple of years and left this on my shelf and didn't watch it. And I just love Elia Kazan so much. Man, Panic in the Streets, what a picture. Just unbelievable. All right, what's another good direct? The only problem is getting this thing back in. All right, What about another great director who did a film about organized crime? Well, one of the most compelling names of a picture from John Cassavetes, The Killing of a Chinese Bookie. You can get this in the pack of 5 films in the Cassavetes set, which I highly encourage you purchase if you haven't. The Killing of a Chinese Bookie. So Cassavetes engages with film noir in his own style. So you have this guy, Ben Gazzara, plays Cosmo, he's a nightclub owner, it's a strip club, adult entertainment, but he's kind of an artist in a way. He really cares about the production value. He cares about how these women come out and what they're expressing. And there's another guy that works with them, and he participates on stage. And a lot of the opening shots of this film are him managing this strip club like he's managing a Broadway show almost in his own way. And he's not very good at some of it. He gets himself in debt. And as a part of being in debt, because of that, some other gangsters kind of loop him into this killing of a Chinese bookie. As the title suggests, right from the beginning that something like that's going to happen. You find out about how the killing takes place, how Cosmo's involved, how these other people that want him to pay off his debt through different services, how that all comes together. But it's mostly, it's a crime film second, I think, but it's mostly a character study of this complicated, sort of nice guy, club owner with a mean streak at times. And it can be kind of a difficult film in the sense that Cassavetes goes all over the place with the camera, lots of close-ups, lots of, like Terry Malloy's dialogue in the last picture. There's lots of mumbling, there's lots of inferencing. It can move kind of slow, even by my standards. And I love Bela Tarr and, Chantal Akerman. I don't care about a picture moving slow, but I found by the end of it, as I was watching it, that I fell in love with all the lights and the color and the energy of the picture. And I really liked when all of these, there's this great shootout. There's these 2 guys chasing each other. There's another great shootout sequence that does happen in it. So I like the character drama part, and I really like the gangster part. And I encourage you to see it. If you've heard mixed things about it, and formulate your own opinion, you might think, well, there's too much of the club owner stuff, and I wanted a little bit more action. But see if that film doesn't have an effect on you and make you feel a real certain special kind of morose, and also a little bit, I don't know, maybe a little bit hopeful. Like maybe you'll want to go to an art museum or something. Strangely enough, and maybe because this, like I said, this character does inspire you to look past that which can be ugly or vile or dirty into something a little better. I don't know. What do y'all think of seeing the Killing of a Chinese Bookie? I watched it once. I'll probably watch that one again. Real cool film. Really good performance there from the lead. But the best film of these 3, by a pretty significant margin in my mind, a film I talked about before. I did a video, and I was so glad that the Criterion picked this up. It's probably going to be my favorite of the year, and that's a year where I've really liked this year. I've liked Umbrellas of Cherbourg, lots of other pictures, but The Big Heat, this coming out in the Criterion Collection, is just an absolute win for me. For one, Fritz Lang is one of the best directors of all time. If you've seen M, you know what I'm talking about. He's a great actor, and a film like Contempt, Jean-Luc Godard, is a great film. And this is a really complex 89 minutes from 1953 of filmmaking. On the surface, it may not be so. So basically, Glenn Ford is a policeman, and he's investigating a crime, and he finds out in the course of this investigation that there might be corruption on a deeper level in society or in the police department or whatever, and he continues to push at the expense of those around him. He becomes obsessed, and along with that, there is a real good performance from Lee Marvin from The Men Who Shot Liberty Valance. And I said in my analysis of this in a previous video that I think he's meaner in this film, Lee Marvin, than he was in The Men Who Shot Liberty Valance, which, if you've seen that picture, it's crazy to think about. Absolutely ruthless. There's a great coffee scene in there. You're not going to forget that one. A tightly wound Glenn Ford stars as a homicide detective. You know, his investigation into a sprawling crime syndicate becomes a shockingly personal, hate-fueled quest for revenge. Is another way of putting it. Photography in this film is gorgeous. The selfishness of Glenn Ford is so believable. He's not entirely a good guy. Man, this essay and booklet, like, it's so cool looking. If you get a chance to see it, The Big Heat. If you're interested in hearing more about that, I did do a video about The Big Heat, and I just wanted to bring it up here because it was a good time to mention that film. 3 great films, 3 great crime, gangster-related film recommendations for you. If you like the video, you want to click that thumbs up button, I appreciate it. What suggestions do you have for me that kind of fill this genre? Please put them in the comments, let me know. I need more ideas all the time, and subscribe if you haven't. And you'll always find a place, if you love movies, here at Cody in the Cinema.